The rhythmic beeping of hospital monitors became my constant companion. For 6 months, I lay trapped in my own body, conscious but unable to move, while my identical twin sister Sarah methodically dismantled my life. My name is Emma Harrison, and this is the story of how my sister tried to steal my identity and how I made her regret it. I don't remember much about the accident that put me here. The police report says a drunk driver ran a red light, but I remember the glint of familiar eyes in my rearview mirror just before impact. What I do remember with perfect clarity is everything that came after, every conversation, every betrayal, every careful step my sister took to become me. The tests show minimal brain activity, Dr. Peterson explained to my family, but there's still hope. Some patients take months to show improvement. Months. Sarah's voice carried that sharp edge I recognized from childhood. We can't wait months. There are accounts to manage, decisions to make. I wanted to scream then, to tell them I was here, listening to every word. But my body remained still, a prison of flesh and bone that wouldn't respond to my commands. That was the day Sarah began her transformation into me. It started innocently enough. She accessed my accounts to pay medical bills, moved into my house to maintain it, began handling my correspondence. But soon she was wearing my clothes, using my credit cards, meeting my friends for coffee. We were identical twins. Who would question it? I spoke to the partners at your investment firm. I heard her tell our mother. They've agreed to let me step in temporarily, handle your clients while Emma recovers. My carefully built career in investment banking, the reputation I'd spent a decade crafting, now in the hands of the sister who'd always envied my success. But the final betrayal came 4 months into my coma, when Daniel started visiting, not to see me, but to see Sarah. Daniel, my boyfriend of 3 years, the man who proposed under the northern lights in Iceland, now falling for my sister who wore my face. It's remarkable, I heard him say one evening. You even laugh like her. I am her, Sarah replied, just better. More alive. What they didn't know, what Sarah never thought to check, was what lay hidden in my home office. Behind a false panel, behind years of careful planning, behind everything I'd built to protect myself from exactly this kind of betrayal. Because Sarah wasn't the only twin with secrets. Nurse Marie was the first to notice I was conscious. During her night shifts, she would talk to me, updating me about the world outside. One night, she noticed my heart rate changing in response to certain words. You can hear me, can't you? She whispered, checking to ensure we were alone. 1 blink for yes, 2 for no. I forced my heavy eyelids to move once. Oh my God, she breathed. How long? 1 blink, from the beginning. From that moment, Marie became my lifeline. She began documenting everything, Sarah's visits, her conversations, the systematic way she was taking over my identity. More importantly, she helped me access what I needed most, my hidden phone. Your sister's been using your regular phone, Marie told me during one night shift. But I found this one in your personal belongings from the accident. The police missed it. My backup phone, the one Sarah didn't know about, the one that could access everything. Using a letterboard Marie brought, I painfully spelled out, home office, behind painting, need to check security feeds. Marie's eyes widened as she used my fingerprint to unlock the phone and followed my instructions. The hidden camera feeds from my house loaded, showing Sarah lounging in my living room, wearing my favorite blazer, working at my desk. But the office feed showed something else. The false panel still intact, its contents undisturbed. Sarah had always been too careless to notice details, too confident in her own cleverness. Her weakness would be her undoing. Because behind that panel was everything I needed to take back my life. Documents, recordings, evidence of every illegal transaction Sarah had made, including her biggest secret, the real reason she needed to become me. The $50 million embezzlement scheme at her own investment firm. The clients she'd defrauded. The investigators closing in just before my accident. Oh my God, Marie whispered, scrolling through the files I'd kept. She did all this? 1 blink. Then I spelled out, call Detective Rivera. Number saved. Tell her I'm awake. As Mary made the call, I thought about everything Sarah had taken from me, my home, my career, my fiancé. She thought becoming me would solve all her problems, give her the clean slate she desperately needed. But my sister forgot the most important thing about me. I never trusted anyone completely. Not even family, especially not family. Detective Rivera arrived the next night during Marie's shift. She looked tired, but her intelligence still burned sharp in her eyes. "I knew something was wrong," she said quietly, standing beside my bed. "You were about to give us everything on the Harrison Fund fraud. Then suddenly you're in a coma, and your twin sister steps into your life like she'd been rehearsing for it." One blink. "The driver disappeared," she continued. "Caught a flight to Mexico the next day. We couldn't prove anything." Another blink. I'd suspected as much. Sarah had always been thorough about covering her tracks. "The files in your office, they're still updating. Every transaction she makes, every document she forges, it's all being recorded. You planned for this, didn't you?" One more blink. Rivera leaned closer. "We've been building a case, but we needed you. Your testimony. Your sister's gotten sloppy lately, confident no one will question her. Last week she transferred $12 million to an offshore account." My heart rate spiked, making the monitors beep faster. "Don't worry," Rivera assured me. "We're tracking every penny. But here's what you need to know. She's planning something big. Daniel's been asking questions, getting too close to the truth. We think she might run, try to disappear with your money." With tremendous effort, I forced my fingers to move, reaching for the letterboard. Slowly, painfully, I spelled out, "Not without the drive." Rivera's eyes narrowed. "What drive?" "Hidden compartment, office panel, everything there." A slow smile spread across the detective's face. "You clever woman. You knew she might try something like this." Sarah and I had grown up together, shared everything, including our secrets. I knew her patterns, her weaknesses, her desperate need to be me because in her eyes, I was the successful one. The sister who'd done everything right while she gambled away clients' money and dug herself deeper into trouble. The next few days were a blur of medical tests and physical therapy. My doctors were amazed at my progress, though they cautioned it would take time to regain full function. But I didn't need much, just enough strength to spring the trap I'd set years ago. Marie kept me updated on Sarah's movements through the security feeds. My sister had started spending more time in my office, searching for something. "She knows something's wrong," Marie reported. "She keeps making calls, looking over her shoulder. And Daniel, he's asking about inconsistencies in your past, things she can't explain." Good, let her squirm. Detective Rivera had officers watching my house, tracking Sarah's every move. But we had to be careful, spook her too soon, and she'd run with whatever she could grab. Then came the night everything changed. I was doing my evening physical therapy when Marie rushed in, phone in hand. "She's in the office," she whispered urgently. "Really searching now. With Daniel." On the screen, I watched my sister and former fiancé move through my home office, their flashlights sweeping the darkness. "There has to be something," Sarah was saying, her voice tight with desperation. "Emma wouldn't just leave everything exposed. She always had backups, contingencies." "I don't understand," Daniel replied. "Why are we really here? What are you looking for?" Sarah's flashlight beam swept across the painting concealing the panel. "Nothing. Everything. I don't know anymore." "Sarah," Daniel said quietly, "I know it's you." The flashlight clattered to the floor. "What?" "I've known for weeks. Little things at first, reactions to memories we never shared, preferences that didn't match. Then bigger things, the way you handle Emma's accounts, the decisions you make. You're not her." A long silence filled the room. "How long have you been pretending?" Daniel demanded. "Was the accident even an accident?" "You don't understand," Sarah pleaded. "I had to do it. They were coming for me, investigators, clients I'd deceived. I needed to disappear, become someone else. And Emma, she was perfect. Successful, respected, everything I should have been. So you what? Arranged to have her car hit? Took over her life while she lay in a hospital bed? She was supposed to die." Sarah's voice cracked. "The driver promised. It wasn't supposed to be like this. She wasn't supposed to linger." I felt a cold satisfaction as Daniel stepped back from her, horror evident in his voice. "Oh my God, you tried to kill your own sister?" "I had no choice. And now I need whatever she kept hidden here. Files, records, something I can use to start over somewhere else. You can come with me, Daniel. We can." He laughed bitterly. "There is no we. There never was. I love Emma, the real Emma. And you? You're a monster." That's when Sarah reached into her bag and pulled out a gun. Don't move. Sarah's voice trembled as she pointed the weapon at Daniel. I've come too far to lose everything now. On the hospital security feed, I watched my sister back my ex-fiancé against the wall. Marie had already alerted Detective Rivera, but the police were still minutes away. Where is it? Sarah demanded, her flashlight beam dancing wildly across the painting. She must have told you something. A safe, a hidden compartment. I don't know anything, Daniel insisted. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you. Sarah's laugh was brittle, hysterical, always so loyal to her. What about me? I've been her for the past 6 months. I've lived her life, shared your bed. I've been everything she was and more. You've been living a lie, Daniel said quietly, and now it's over. The gun shook in Sarah's hand. It's not over until I say it's over. Help me find what I need, or I swear. You'll what? Kill me too, like you tried to kill your sister. In my hospital bed, I forced my fingers to move, grabbing Marie's arm. Phone, I managed to whisper, my first spoken word in over 6 months. She understood immediately, holding up my backup phone. With trembling fingers, I entered a code not into the phone itself, but into a hidden app I'd installed years ago. In my office, light suddenly flooded the space, making Sarah stumble back. A mechanical whirring filled the air as the false panel behind the painting began to slide open. What's happening? Sarah asked. Welcome home, sis, my recorded voice echoed through hidden speakers. Looking for something. The panel finished opening, revealing a small room filled with servers, monitors, and a large safe. But it was the screens that drew their attention, dozens of them, showing security footage from every angle of my house, my office, even Sarah's old firm. No, Sarah whispered. No. The monitors flickered to life one by one, each displaying a different scene. Sarah meeting with the man who would later crash into my car. Sarah accessing my accounts while I lay unconscious. Sarah and Daniel together in my bed. Sarah transferring millions to offshore accounts. I knew you'd try something like this eventually, my recorded voice continued. You never could stand that I succeeded where you failed. That's why I kept records of everything. Every crime, every lie, every moment of your desperate attempt to become me. Sarah spun around wildly, the gun now pointing at shadows. Shut up. The police are already on their way, my voice said calmly. And not just any police. Detective Rivera, who's been building a case against you for years. Did you really think I didn't know about the Harrison Fund scam? The stolen client money? Daniel had pressed himself against the wall, watching in stunned silence as my sister's world crumbled around her. Everything you've done these past 6 months, my voice continued, every document you forged, every lie you told. It's all been recorded. You didn't just steal my identity, Sarah. You gave me everything I needed to destroy yours. A pounding upstairs made Sarah jump. Police. Open up. It's over, Sarah, Daniel said softly. Put down the gun. For a moment, she looked like she might shoot him anyway. Then her shoulders slumped and the gun clattered to the floor just as Detective Rivera and her team burst into the office. Back in my hospital room, I watched them lead my sister away in handcuffs, her mascara streaking down her face as she sobbed. Daniel stood talking to the police, gesturing at the hidden room full of evidence. I've never seen anything like it, Rivera told me later that night. The level of detail in your records, you've been planning for this for years. I nodded weakly, knew she'd try eventually. The offshore accounts have been frozen. We're working on recovering the money she stole. And with the evidence you gathered, plus her confession in the office, she's looking at 20 years minimum. I closed my eyes, feeling a mix of satisfaction and sadness. Sarah had been my twin, my other half since birth. But she'd chosen this path, chosen to try to steal my life rather than face the consequences of her own actions. The recovery process was slow but steady. Within a month, I was speaking clearly again. 2 months later, I could walk with assistance. Daniel visited occasionally, full of apologies and explanations, but we both knew too much had changed. Some betrayals can't be undone. 6 months after Sarah's arrest, I finally returned home. The house had been cleaned, all traces of my sister's occupation erased. But I went straight to my office, to the hidden room that had saved my life. The monitors still ran, recording everything. I built this system after discovering Sarah's first embezzlement scheme years ago. knowing that someday she'd try something desperate. The accident, the coma. I hadn't anticipated those specific details, but I'd been prepared for her to make some kind of move. As I stood there, surrounded by the evidence of my sister's betrayal, my phone buzzed with a text from the prison where Sarah was awaiting trial. "How long did you know that I would try to become you?" I typed back a simple response. "Since we were children. You always wanted my life, but you never understood what it took to build it." Her reply came quickly. "I'm sorry. For everything." But it was too late for apologies. Sarah had made her choices, and now she would face the consequences. As for me, I had my own life to rebuild, not as the sister who had been betrayed, but as the woman who'd been smart enough to prepare for it. The next day, I reopened my office at a new location. My experience gave me a unique perspective on investment fraud cases, leading to consulting work with security firms. Life moved forward. I sold the house, bought a new one with better security. Daniel moved to London. Sarah sat in prison, writing letters I never answered. Sometimes, late at night, I think about what Sarah said in my office, that she'd been everything I was and more. She never understood that being me wasn't about wearing my clothes or living in my house. It was about the years of work, the careful planning, the attention to detail that she always dismissed as paranoia. In the end, Sarah tried to steal my identity but failed to capture the one thing that mattered most. The knowledge that sometimes the best defense isn't a security system or a hidden room, but simply being prepared for the worst in people, even when those people are family, especially then.